This is the vlog for January 3rd, 2019. And I managed to get my parents to go out with me to a movie today. And that movie was Mary Poppins Returns. Oh, my face hurts. And my face only ever hurts for one reason. And that's from smiling too much, if that's even such a thing. But I know I've talked at length about bed knobs and broomsticks on this channel before, but it was a couple of films that I watched when I was a kid over and over again that were usually shown on the Disney Channel. I think we had a couple of them on VHS, but Mary Poppins was definitely one of them. I watched a lot of there was one particular cartoon, animated film, maybe Robin Hood or Jungle Book, which used a lot of the characters from Robin Hood used a lot of characters from Jungle Book. But there were a lot of those sort of mid-60s, early 70s Disney productions that definitely got shown an awful lot on the Disney Channel back in the 80s. And my parents loved the Disney Channel for a couple of reasons. Disney was a much more wholesome sort of television experience than a lot of what was being shown on other network stations at the time. And it didn't have commercials. That was their favorite part. Now, that tune has changed over the last 3 decades, but it gave me a healthy appreciation for the Disney musical, which is a sort of dying breed, or sleeping breed, let's call it that. They're sort of working to bring that style of picture back, and it didn't even occur to me. It didn't even occur to me when I went to see Mary Poppins that it would be a musical, but it starts with a musical number. It actually starts in a very specific way. And I'm not going to say too much about the story, which is great, but I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything. The films, especially the live action films back in the 60s, had a very specific style of opening where they would sort of show storyboards of the actual narrative. And they'd play little musical interludes from the set pieces that were being shown on the screen at any given time. And it was almost like getting a little miniature preview of the movie itself before you actually were going to watch it. But they stopped doing that in the 70s, and it was one of those things that sort of separated, before Walt Disney stopped working on the films directly, and afterwards when he sort of, got too old and eventually grew sick and passed away, and so didn't, have direct control over the films anymore. The Eisner era was certainly a very dark time for Disney when they were churning out the directed VHS sequels to animated films that had a fraction of the budget, or basically, using the name to generate revenue. But if they make more movies like Mary Poppins Returns, I will be ecstatic. It was just jaw-dropping. The way the cinematography, they did all these things. They mixed animation with live action, which is something they very rarely do these days. It was just wonderful. It made me feel like a kid again, which is something I could sorely use right now. I want to go see it again. I'm getting it the moment it comes out on home release. I am going to save some of the money, some of the credit that my parents gave me in iTunes gift cards just for this film once it's released, probably in March or April, because these things turn around so fast. But that film should be up for an Academy Award for Best Picture. I mean, it's everything about it is wonderful. And it just makes me happy to go to the movies. That's I don't usually do this, but I'm going to say this. If you are watching this and you are watching it recently within the month of January 2019. I urge you, with all of my heart, I urge you to go see Mary Poppins Returns in theaters, because it is a film event. Disney hasn't done anything like this in 64 years or 54 years. And I don't think they're going to do it again. Not to this level of grandeur. Mary Poppins was special, and this film is special. And if you have a chance, please, please go see it in the theaters. Please. It's practically perfect in every way. I'm Eric Spornitz, and tomorrow will be better.